what you know about me.
How did you start the business? Because I think I told you off camera, like I'm at a point right now where I'm dabbling and I want to start my own. I'm just tired of playing the game, man. To be honest with you, I feel like I want to create something sustainable for my family. So what was that first step look like? What did it look like? And how did you get over those jitters? Because it's so hard to jump off the porch, so to speak. So what were the processes look like? And, what were some of the things that you overcame to start it?
So I'm going to apologize ahead of time because this story is going to probably be counterintuitive to you helping to support your family. But the benefit I had, which I say all the time to people, is in 2005, I was 24 and I had a car payment and a rent payment. And I had one job before and I thought I knew better than everybody else in the world, which I was absolutely, absolutely wrong about. But I think that was really the reason, not the reason I started the business, the reason why it was easy to start the business. I had a partner for a little while in the beginning, and he literally showed up to lunch one day. It's a guy I had known from college. Mm-hmm. He showed up to lunch one day with a business plan and was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I didn't care. Oh, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about quitting my job anyway. I know better than my boss, and why not? You have nothing better to do. And honestly, dating back around that time, like, I don't think I ever set out and said, "Oh, hey, I want to own my own agency. I want to create my own business." I just at the time was looking for a change, and I didn't have that much on the line to take the risk, right?
That's it.
Okay, so that's the first thing. But I will tell you that more akin to your situation that you were talking about before is that you eventually get to a point when priorities change, right? So absolutely. I get married. I have 2 wonderful children now, and there were so many points during that process where, my wife looked at me and those tough nights where she's looking like, cool, how long are you going to keep this up? How long you want to keep pushing? And I think in the end of the day, what it was is that the reason I kept doing it is probably more important to this story than the reason I started. And the reason I kept doing it was because I think the personal journey that I wanted to take was more important than the money. First and foremost, I think that I started realizing that I kept doing it because the experience I was getting, figuring out how to do things, even to this day, was better than someone teaching me. And that's not for everybody. I'm not, because I'm not downplaying like education or experience at an agency or anything like that. But what I am saying is that I realized that I learned better by failing or trying to do something, and that was working for me. So I kind of got to the point where I enjoyed solving the problems no matter how big they were. And that's kind of why I kept going,
I love that story, brother. And I love the fact that you was authentic and real. And my wife's looking at me like, man, what are you going to do? That's real, man. That's real problems that we deal with, man, especially when you're going after your dream, man. And at that point, this is your baby. Absolutely. You've put countless hours into it. You've devoted your energy. You've made sacrifices for it. And then you're looking back at it like, you want me to quit? I can't. You got to see the vision, baby. You're going to do this.
No, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, I think there were several points I can identify along the way where if it wasn't for obviously like people like my wife and a strong network of other business owners. I mean, I'm friends with these guys and women up to this day where we literally started our businesses within years of each other, right? And not all of them are still around. Some of them are still around. Some of them are doing other things or whatever. But it's literally like, I remember sitting around the table drinking beers going like, well, here's my problem. What's your problem? And like, I'm thinking about giving this up because I can't take this anymore. And people are like, well, here's how I solve that problem. And, whatever, you kind of roll with it. But luckily you get to a point where those problems aren't the problems you're dealing with. There's other problems, right? Yeah. There's always going to be problems, but those aren't the problems you're dealing with anymore.